Hi, what's your name?
Mrs. Kathy Eastman.
How old are you?
Older than you, probably older than your parents.
What, what sports did you play?
Swimming.
Did you do any extracurriculars?
It's academic clubs, also like math team and honor society.
Okay, and what were your grades?
I had pretty much all A's, maybe a couple of B's.
Okay, so a good student. And what is your job currently?
I am a teacher and a high school swim coach.
What are some strategies you use to balance your time between your job and your regular life?
Make sure that I put things in my calendar so I don't have any conflicts that are going on, and taking the time to really just enjoy things too, because if you schedule yourself out too much, you don't have time to really enjoy it. And so there's always time to take a break, enjoy something, and have fun. But definitely a calendar with a schedule will keep you on track of things.
Okay. How do you think your tendencies in work reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of work? For instance, when you're on job and you have something to do for your job, it's a lot easier because you're there to do it. When you're at home and you're not on the job, how do you stay motivated to make sure you do stuff for it?
I absolutely feel that at work, it's much easier to stay focused on work. When you get home, it's too easy to get distracted. So either I try to make sure I get it done first, but if I don't, then I say, okay, at a certain time, I'm gonna get it done. Because if I don't set that time limit, that restricts to myself, I'm not gonna get done. I'll put it off. So I always make sure that if I don't get done right away, make sure I put myself a time limit so I have a goal of this is the time I can do it, so I don't have to keep thinking about it until that time again, and then it's easier to focus.
In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
They work most of the time. Sometimes I end up putting it off, and then I stress myself out because I have to do it in the morning or later on in the afternoon. But then I suck it up because it was my own fault, so I've got to deal with it. So definitely places I could probably make it more efficient by making sure I either just get it done before I leave work or make sure I do it right away. But setting that timeline helps somewhat, and otherwise it's my own fault, so I just kind of deal with it, what I have to lose out to be able to get caught up. They'll still get it done.
All right, thank you. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sheridan Keeter,
How old are you?
44.
What sports did you play?
In high school, softball, and then I did marching band, which was very serious, so essentially a sport.
Okay. What were your grades?
Pretty good. Mostly A's, some B's. I'd say about a 3.6 when I graduated.
Okay. What do you currently do for work?
I work as a nurse practitioner doing home health visits, kind of all in the region.
All right. What are some strategies you use to balance your time between life and your job?
A few different ones, but I'd say the top thing that I find works to keep me balanced and organized. You know, I'm a busy full-time working mom of 4 kids, husband, all the activities that go with that. So for me, the biggest thing is lists. I find that writing everything down, you know, between my work tasks, work notes, and just kind of what we have going on day to day in the calendar keeps me organized and on track and less stressed, because then I know that I haven't missed anything or forgotten something, or I can put it kind of out of my mind for the night.
When you're on the job, you need to complete a task to receive a payment. But when you're focused on upholding your family responsibilities, what keeps you motivated to complete the task?
Well, number one is just knowing that I've got, you know, a family relying on me to do said tasks. But more so, I think, you know, it's a sense of feeling good about getting things accomplished, kind of feeling like if I get things done efficiently and, you know, on time and as people need them, then I can then enjoy whatever time is left to kind of do the things I enjoy, you know, reading, etc. Kind of feel like if you do the work up front, you kind of earn the play or the relaxation after.
In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
Great question. Overall, I think my strategies do good. My biggest issue, again, writing things down is really what works best for me. But I will say, you know, if I do have a day off or some time that I'm trying to get things done, certainly here at home more than work, I find I often make lists or kind of expect too much of myself in that time. And I think if I was better about kind of dividing up the tasks, being a bit more realistic about what's necessary right now versus what can maybe be pushed, what is important, etc. Just organizing my requirements better. I think I would feel a little less maybe overwhelmed or like I wasn't productive in that day, where in fact I usually am. It just feels like I didn't cross it all off. So lists are great for me. I think just kind of categorizing or organizing them better would be a gap that I'd like to fill and do.
Yeah. What's your name?
Ryan Keeter.
What sports did you play?
In high school, I played basketball, football, and baseball, and then baseball in college.
And then, did you do any extracurriculars?
Yes, I was on several teams, like not like math teams. There were other type academic teams. I was in drama. I was always cast in various plays, and I don't know. Work is kind of like extracurricular.
What were your grades when you were in high school?
Ooh, high school grades were not that great. 3.15. No, I'm sorry. I think my final grade was 3.15. Yeah.
What is your job currently?
I'm a prosecutor, so I'm an attorney, licensed to practice in Missouri and then all federal jurisdictions. I'm also licensed in the Supreme Court of the United States and can try cases in front of that court.
Okay. What are some strategies used to balance your time between your job and your outside life, your personal life?
Try to finish work at work. It's difficult and it's going to follow yourself home, but try to finish at work. Leave it there. Also, when you're home, try to be home, though it's difficult and you're always thinking about other things, but actively plan to do things. Even if you take a call from work while you're out on a hike, at least you're answering the phone call in the forest. So make plans and try to keep work at work.
Okay. How do you think your tendencies in work reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of work? Like, for instance, when you're at work and you're given an assignment, you're given work to do, right? You're going to do it because you're at work, you're on a job. But when you're at home, like, what changes obviously you don't want to do it in comparison to when you're at work and you have to do it. So how do you stay motivated to do your work?
So my job does not require a quota. I don't have to try 5 cases a year. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I'm a prosecutor. I see cases and I make an assessment as to whether society can suffer that type of conduct in a just society that we have here in America. So I bring people to justice and put them in jail so that society can be on the right course. That requires an outlook of what I perceive to be the correct balance of conduct, misconduct, and the proper American life. And I do that at home too. I look at my kids, I look at their futures, I project out what they're doing, what they need to do, and then make changes and put things in place so that the end result reflects what I want for them. So in the same way at work, I do things to reflect how I want society to be viewed. I also do the same thing at home, where I take steps to ensure that my kids, as they grow older, are viewed in a certain way based on their discipline, based on how they present themselves, based on how they are fighters.
Okay. In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
Yeah, I get tired. But my biggest thing is that I get addicted to internet nonsense. So when you deal with difficult things at work, it's easy to come home and just get on your phone and look at social media or YouTube or TikTok, and then just like let yourself zone out for a bit. And then you forget, you don't realize that that constant zoning out becomes kind of addicting. And so then you find that you're not focusing on things you should be doing because you're spending too much time trying to recharge your batteries. But really, recharging your batteries is being productive. And once you put the phone down and stop doing that kind of stuff, do you realize that going on a hike or going on a run even though it's work, physical work, is going to recharge your batteries way more than watching YouTube for an hour.
All right, thank you. That's it. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Dylan Cassidy.
How old are you?
I am 15 years old.
What sports do you play?
I play baseball.
Are there any extracurriculars you do?
I do not.
Okay. What are some strategies you use to balance your time between playing sports and doing schoolwork?
I keep it all like in my head and everything. Like try to keep track of school and sports in my head.
Okay. How do you see in school reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of school? For instance, when you're in school and you're given an assignment, you're going to do it because you go to school to do school, right? And it's being enforced. But when you're outside of school and it's during your own free time and other such things, right? How do you stay motivated to make sure you get it done when you don't have to and you're not being enforced?
The way I stay motivated is because I really want to play baseball, and if I don't keep up my schoolwork, then I can't play baseball because then I'll let my grades slip.
In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
I'd say
Wait, In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
my strategies right now, like they're okay, but I could do a lot better if I like write them down on notes and like have like a designated time to do schoolwork and baseball.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What's your name?
It's Javi Petroni.
How old are you?
I'm 17.
What sports do you play?
I play football and baseball.
Are there any extracurriculars you do?
I have a job.
And what are your grades currently?
I think I have like a 3.2 GPA.
What are some strategies you use to balance your time between playing sports and doing schoolwork?
When an assignment is like assigned, I just do it right then and there. If you let them build up and you be procrastinating, it's not good because then it crashes at the you have to do all of it at once.
How do you think your tendencies in school reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of school? For instance, when you're in school and you're given an assignment, you're going to do it because you're at school to do school. But when you're at your house, how do you stay motivated to do your schoolwork?
At my house, I do sometimes find struggle trying to stay motivated. So sometimes I will wait until I'm at school or if I have another free time like at school and do the assignment there.
All right. Go. In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
I would say I could probably schedule the time between when I do my assignments a little bit. Like I can schedule it better.
Hi, what's your name?
Benjamin Ferry,
How old are you?
16,
What sports do you play?
baseball and wrestling.
Are there any extracurriculars you do?
I do Boy Scouts,
What are your grades currently?
like a B average.
What are some strategies you use to balance your time between playing sports and doing your schoolwork?
I don't play video games until after I do my homework.
How do you think your tendencies in school reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of school? Like, for instance, when you're given work at school, you're going to do it at school because you're there to do schoolwork. But when you're at home, how do you stay motivated to make sure you do it?
Usually I think about how I want to be a optimal vice president next year and be a good social figure for everyone to look up to instead of being a terrible vice president with bad grades.
In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
I mean, they work pretty well. I have decent grades, but there definitely are gaps in losing motivation to do work and not slack off. So I guess I can fill those with more useful meanings of time.
Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Ava Coulson.
How old are you?
I'm 15.
What sports do you play?
Volleyball and softball.
Are you currently doing any extracurriculars? What are your current grades? What are some strategies that you use to balance your time between playing sports and doing schoolwork?
I try to get all my work done that's assigned. I like to do it right away so I don't have to worry about it after practice or before practice.
How do you think your tendencies in school reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of school? Like, for instance, if you're given schoolwork in class, you're going to do it because it's being enforced. But outside of school, you have more freedom. You don't really have to do it. How does that affect your thought process?
Well, I think in school you definitely have more motivation because you're in class, but also outside of school, being in a sport and not being able to play if you have bad grades is kind of my motivation because I want to play that sport and I work hard to play that sport and get better at that sport, so that's my motivation.
Honestly, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
I think my strategies work great.
Hi, what's your name?
Austin Lazone,
How old are you?
15 years of age.
What sports do you play?
Football and baseball.
Are there any extracurriculars you do?
No.
And what are your grades currently?
Mainly A's and B's right now.
What are some strategies you use to balance your time between playing sports and doing schoolwork?
What I try to do is after like practice that I have, I spend 30 minutes on one class and then 5 minutes where I just like take a break, eat, like reset to rethink, and then I go back to that class and work for 30 more minutes until I finish, and then I just go on to the next class and keep using that same strategy.
How do you think your tendencies in school reflect in comparison to your thought process outside of school? For instance, when you're in school and you have an assignment to do, you're at school to do school, so you're going to do it, right? When you're at home and you don't have to do it, how do you stay motivated and make sure you get it done?
I stay motivated by like, my parents kind of threaten me with taking away sports, and I really like sports. So I just make sure that I get my stuff done in order to be able to do the things or the stuff that I want to do.
In all honesty, how well do you think your strategies work? Are there any gaps for you to fill and make your time more efficient?
I think my strategy works decently well. The only flaw that it really has is when I take my 5 to 10 minute break, I end up sometimes scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, and it leads to like 30 minutes of scrolling. So what I could do is I could set a timer for like 5 minutes to make sure I get back to doing my work.
Thank you. The whole point of me doing all these interviews and my project is for me to figure out what I need to change. I've never been a bad student. I've never had struggles on tests and stuff. I've always just been bad at doing the easy things, just getting work done, making sure I do it, right? It's not about how hard it was. It's just a matter of it's tedious and it takes responsibility, and that's something I lack currently. And so I wanted to figure out what can I do to better it, because the more I go through school, and now that I've been doing Running Start, the more I realize that the world doesn't revolve around me, and if I don't pick up my own weight, then I stay, right? I don't keep going. I stay where I'm at. And that's not what I want. So to answer my own questions, some strategies I use, I don't have a strategy. I just roll through. I just go, oh, I maybe have work. If I remember it, I might do it. If I don't remember it, well then I don't remember it and I just don't do it. And my tendencies, I don't have any tendencies. It's just a matter of, I think I should do this, or I'm kind of in the mood right now. I'm a little bit motivated. But it's all about motivation and not discipline, not determination, right? The biggest things that I've found are that you can't wait. You need to be on it. And like many of the people I interviewed, I'd say, when you're at school, you're there to do schoolwork, right? But that's not what I do. When I'm at school, I'm not there to do schoolwork. I'm there because I have to be at school. But I need to change it to where when I'm there, I get my work done. Whenever I feel my best in a class is whenever I actually do the work in class. For instance, math last year, Algebra 2, the whole year I struggled because I would just dick around in class and I wouldn't actually do the work or pay attention. It's not a matter of the tests were hard. It was a matter of I didn't do my own work. And that honestly did affect the test a little bit. They were easy tests when I knew it, but when I didn't because I wasn't paying attention, they were hard and I wasn't getting good grades, which doesn't reflect my own capabilities. It just reflects the effort I put in. So I need to make sure that when I'm in class, I actually do the work. And like this year, during my APUSH class, my AP US History class, whenever I actually get the work done in class, I don't stress after school. I'm like, man, I actually got that done. And then I feel good about it. And I feel a lot more stress-free, and I have things that I can do without having to worry about schoolwork. But I also know more about the subject. And when tests roll up, I feel so much more confident and I actually get good grades and I can see the results. It's not just a feel thing, it actually has results. I get better grades when I do the schoolwork, which, surprise, surprise. But yeah, another thing is, it's not just doing the schoolwork as soon as you can and not saving and procrastinating. It's a matter of just setting up when to do it. Because I can say, oh, I'm tired right now. Oh, I'm busy doing this. I can't do this right now, right? But I can do it then. And that's a huge thing, is if I set up a calendar, if I set up a timer for me to know when to do it and set a scheduled time, then maybe I can relax and not feel stressed for doing work. Because sometimes I'll feel motivated and I'll hop on doing the work and then I'll be doing it and I'll have like 4 assignments I have to do and I'm like, oh, let me knock these out. But because it's 4 assignments at once, it's too much. And then I end up not getting anything done and I lose my motivation streak, which is hugely important for me because I need that to actually get my work done. So I'll lose the motivation and I won't get anything done and that will leave me just nothing done. But if I set a calendar up, like for instance, my mom has said lists were the hugest thing for her. And if I set a calendar up and make a list, then I'll know when I need to get things done. I'll know what I need to get done also, because maybe I want to do something, right? Maybe I'm like, oh, I'm in the mood to do my schoolwork. But if I forget it, I can't do it. So if I set a list for what I need to do, so I can keep my mind on it, but if I also set a calendar for when to do it, that'll help me extremely. It'll help me keep on track and actually get it done. And then the final thing is, it's not just for school. I'm not doing schoolwork so I can do good in school. I'm doing schoolwork so I can play my biggest passion, sports. I love baseball. I love playing baseball. I live baseball. I spend as much time as I can thinking about it, practicing it, learning the game. But I won't be able to play if I get bad grades. So the biggest thing is changing the motivation aspect from, oh, let me try to make sure I keep my grades up, to, oh, I'm playing for me to play baseball. I'm doing my schoolwork for me to be able to do the thing I love. It's not doing schoolwork for school. I'm not waking up at 6 in the morning to go to school, to do school. No, I'm waking up at 6 in the morning and going to school so that I can play baseball. I can do what I love. And that's the hugest thing, is changing that. Because I'll have motivation streaks and, I'll get the work done and I'll get assignments done. But why does it need to be a streak? Why can't I always have motivation? So I think the deepest cause of me failing to get my assignments done is me just not having a motivation. They're not important. Oh yeah, I'm fine with the B. Oh yeah, I can get my grade up later. No, I'm doing this now so that I can make sure I play baseball. I'm doing this now so I can make sure I'm set to do what I want to do. And I think if I take these into account, I can actually see a change in my schoolwork. And I'm serious about this too. This is what I want to do. I want to be good at school. Thank you.